Part 1. The Turning Point. Sarah's Dilemma. Have you ever found yourself pouring your heart into someone or something only to feel your efforts slip through the cracks, unacknowledged and unreciprocated? This is where Sarah, a vibrant yet emotionally drained young woman, found herself. She had always believed that love and validation were earned through sacrifice and relentless dedication. But this belief left her feeling depleted, questioning her worth in a world that seemed to take more than it gave. Sarah had always been the one to go the extra mile, at work, in friendships, and most of all, in her relationships. Her partner, Alex, was someone she loved deeply, but their relationship had grown one-sided over time. Sarah's acts of devotion were met with indifference, her sacrifices unnoticed. Every effort to bridge the emotional gap left her feeling smaller, as if she were begging for scraps of affection. One rainy evening, after a particularly disheartening argument where her needs were once again dismissed, Sarah sat alone in her apartment. The sound of rain against the window pane mirrored her internal turmoil. In that quiet moment, she asked herself a question that changed everything. Why am I begging for love that should come freely? It was then that she stumbled upon a book on Stoic philosophy, hidden among a stack of old novels. Intrigued, she opened it to a passage by Marcus Aurelius. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Those words felt like a revelation. For the first time, Sarah began to see that her pain wasn't caused solely by Alex's indifference. It was also rooted in her own inability to value herself. She realized that true respect and love start from within and can't be coerced or begged for. This marked the turning point in her journey. Motivated by this newfound perspective, Sarah set out on a path to rediscover her worth. She committed to letting go of her need for external validation and began exploring the principles of Stoicism to guide her transformation. These ancient teachings offered her a roadmap to reclaim her self-respect and establish boundaries without resentment. Her journey wasn't easy. The world constantly reminded her of the societal belief that love must be fought for, even at the cost of one's dignity. But Sarah knew she couldn't live that way anymore. She was ready to embrace a new way of being, one that aligned with her inner strength and peace. In this video, we will explore Sarah's transformative journey and uncover 10 powerful lessons from Stoic philosophy that can help you too live a life of dignity, self-respect, and natural love. Stay until the end, as lesson number 7 offers a perspective on relationships that could change your life forever. Let's embark on this journey together. Comment below with "I choose self-respect" to join a community of like-minded individuals ready to take control of their happiness and relationships. Part 2. The Illusion of Love, Sarah's Awakening. As Sarah delved deeper into her journey of self-discovery, she began to confront one of the most romanticized yet misleading notions she had always believed in: love at first sight. She remembered the initial days with Alex, those sparks of excitement and the rush of emotions that made her feel as though she had found her soulmate. But as time passed, she realized that what had once felt like destiny was more akin to infatuation. Society often portrays love as an instant, magical connection where two people effortlessly understand each other. Sarah, like many, had fallen into this trap. She recalled how she and Alex had connected over shared interests, but they never truly delved into understanding each other's values, goals, and needs. Over time, the lack of depth in their relationship became glaringly obvious. They weren't building a foundation. They were living in a house of cards that collapsed at the slightest breeze of conflict. Through her readings on Stoicism, Sarah learned a profound truth. Love at first sight is not the cornerstone of a lasting relationship. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Love the art, poor as it may be, which thou hast learned to do, and be content with it." She interpreted this to mean that true love, like any art, requires patience, nurturing, and dedication to develop. It isn't something that appears fully formed. It must be cultivated over time. To further understand, Sarah thought of love as a garden. Those initial sparks of attraction might be the seeds, but without care, those seeds wither. Real love is built through shared experiences, understanding, and a commitment to grow together. It demands effort, not the kind of effort that depletes you, but the mutual effort that strengthens and uplifts both individuals. Sarah began reflecting on the choices she had made in her relationships. Her eagerness to chase the high of romantic ideals had led her to ignore red flags, dismiss her own needs, and settle for less than she deserved. Now she understood that love at first sight is often an illusion. True love, she realized, originates from a place of self-love and respect. Only when you value yourself can you attract a relationship rooted in mutual respect and genuine connection. Armed with this knowledge, Sarah decided to shift her perspective. She no longer sought a fairy tale, but instead aimed to build meaningful connections with people who valued her for who she truly was. She started taking her time to know others deeply and ensured that any relationship she pursued was grounded in shared values and respect. This shift didn't just transform Sarah's romantic life, it changed how she approached all her relationships. By letting go of illusions and embracing reality, Sarah found a new sense of freedom and peace. She realized that love isn't something to chase, it's something to cultivate naturally. Comment below, I embrace the art of love, if you too believe that love should be an evolving journey, not a fleeting spark. Stay tuned for the next part, where Sarah confronts rejection and learns to find strength in her self-worth. Sharp Part 3. The strength found in rejection. Sarah's journey wasn't without pain. As she moved forward, she faced one of life's most difficult experiences, rejection. Memories of Alex leaving her haunted her. She had given everything to make the relationship work, yet it ended with her feeling unworthy and questioning her self-worth. Rejection can feel like a door slammed in your face, a confirmation of your deepest fears about not being good enough. For Sarah, it felt like all her efforts had been in vain. But this time, she didn't let herself spiral. Instead, she turned to the wisdom of Stoicism to guide her through. One of Epictetus's teachings resonated deeply with Sarah. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This empowered her to see rejection not as a failure, but as an opportunity. Instead of mourning the loss of Alex's approval, she chose to focus on her own growth. She began to understand that rejection was not about her lack of value. It was a redirection towards something better. Sarah reflected on why the rejection had hurt so much. She realized that she had been placing her happiness in someone else's hands. By constantly seeking Alex's validation, she had unknowingly made her self-worth dependent on his approval. This was a mistake she vowed never to repeat. Her value, she realized, was inherent and did not diminish because someone failed to recognize it. To rebuild herself, Sarah started investing time in what made her happy: painting, hiking, and volunteering. She sought joy in small, everyday moments and began to celebrate her individuality. For the first time in years, she felt whole without needing someone else to complete her. She discovered the immense strength that comes from within, a strength no rejection could take away. Through this process, Sarah also learned the art of setting boundaries. She recognized that not every relationship is meant to last, and that's okay. She began to see rejection as a way of clearing space for relationships that truly aligned with her values. With every no, she was one step closer to the right yes. As Sarah grew stronger, she noticed a shift in how others treated her. People began to respect her newfound confidence and self-assuredness. She no longer needed to beg for attention or approval. Instead, she attracted people who valued her for who she truly was. Rejection, once her greatest fear, became her greatest teacher. It taught her resilience, self-worth, and the importance of aligning with what truly matters. Sarah realized that rejection wasn't the end of the story. It was a necessary chapter in her journey to finding authentic love and fulfillment. Comment below, I am stronger through rejection. If you too have found strength in letting go and growing through challenges. In the next part, we'll learn how Sarah learned to stop idealizing relationships and embrace reality for a more fulfilling life. Stay with us. Part 4, breaking free from idealization. As Sarah continued her journey, she faced another crucial lesson: learning to break free from the trap of idealization. For years, she had romanticized her relationships, especially with Alex. She had seen him as perfect, placing him on a pedestal and ignoring the warning signs. This idealization not only blinded her to reality, but also set her up for disappointment. Stoic philosophy teaches us to see people and situations as they are, not as we wish them to be. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Sarah took this to heart. She understood that by idealizing Alex, she had set unrealistic expectations, leading to inevitable heartbreak. Reflecting on her past, Sarah recognized that idealization had been a defense mechanism. It allowed her to overlook the flaws in her relationships and cling to the illusion of happiness. But now, she was ready to face reality with clarity and courage. To break free from idealization, Sarah began practicing acceptance. She reminded herself that everyone, including herself, was a mix of strengths and weaknesses. By acknowledging these imperfections, she found herself more grounded in reality. Acceptance didn't mean settling for less. It meant building relationships on authenticity rather than fantasy. Sarah also learned to listen to her intuition. She realized that in her previous relationships, she had ignored her instincts when things felt off. Idealization had clouded her judgment, causing her to make excuses for behavior that didn't align with her values. This time, she promised herself to trust her gut and address red flags early on. One of the most profound shifts Sarah experienced was letting go of control. She stopped trying to mold her relationships into something they were not. Instead, she focused on mutual understanding and respect. This shift brought a sense of freedom and allowed her to connect with others more authentically. For Sarah, breaking free from idealization also meant forgiving herself for past mistakes. She stopped blaming herself for her failed relationships and began to see them as valuable lessons. With each step forward, she grew stronger and more confident in her ability to navigate love and life. This change had a ripple effect. Sarah's relationships with her friends, family, and colleagues improved as she became more present and less demanding. She no longer sought perfection in others, but appreciated their unique qualities. In doing so, she created deeper, more meaningful connections. Sarah's journey taught her that true love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about embracing someone perfectly imperfect. It's about building relationships based on honesty, acceptance, and shared values. Comment below. I see clearly now if you've ever let go of idealization to embrace reality in your relationships. In the next part, we'll uncover how Sarah cultivated reciprocity and mutual respect, creating lasting and fulfilling connections. Stay tuned. Part 5, Cultivating Reciprocity and Embracing Growth. As Sarah progressed in her journey, she discovered one of the most transformative lessons of Stoic philosophy, the power of reciprocity. Relationships thrive when there is a mutual exchange of respect, care, and understanding. This realization became a cornerstone in how she approached every connection moving forward. In her past relationships, Sarah had often felt like she was giving more than she received. She would go out of her way to meet her partner's needs, hoping to earn their love and approval. But over time, this unbalanced dynamic left her feeling drained and undervalued. Through the lens of Stoic philosophy, Sarah began to see that true relationships are partnerships, not transactions. Reciprocity doesn't mean keeping score. It means creating a harmonious balance where both people feel valued and appreciated. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By focusing on the quality of her connections rather than the quantity of effort she put in, Sarah began to foster relationships that enriched her life. One key shift Sarah made was learning to communicate her needs. In the past, she had been hesitant to ask for support or express her desires, fearing it might seem selfish. But now, she realized that open communication was essential for mutual respect. When she expressed her thoughts and feelings honestly, she created space for others to do the same. Sarah also became more attuned to the needs of those around her. In her relationship with Alex, she had often felt like she was chasing his affection. Now she focused on being present and genuinely attentive in her interactions. Whether it was a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or simply listening without judgment, she found joy in giving without expecting anything in return. One of the most profound changes Sarah noticed was in her friendships. By practicing reciprocity, she began to attract people who valued her for who she was, not for what she could do for them. These connections were built on mutual care and understanding, creating a sense of belonging that she had never experienced before. This principle also extended to her relationship with herself. Sarah realized that reciprocity wasn't just about external connections. It was about nurturing a balanced relationship with her own mind and body. She started prioritizing self-care, setting boundaries, and honoring her time and energy. This shift allowed her to show up more fully in all areas of her life. As Sarah continued to grow, she saw how her transformation inspired those around her. Her family noticed her newfound confidence and calm demeanor, and her friends began to adopt similar practices in their own lives. The ripple effect of her growth became a powerful force, spreading positivity and wisdom within her community. Sarah's story is a testament to the transformative power of Stoic principles. By cultivating reciprocity, embracing self-respect, and letting go of control, she discovered a path to authentic, fulfilling relationships. Her journey wasn't about finding the perfect partner or achieving external validation. It was about becoming the best version of herself and creating connections that reflected that growth. Now, it's your turn. Reflect on the relationships in your life. Are they built on mutual respect and reciprocity? Comment below. I embrace growth and balance if you're ready to cultivate stronger, more meaningful connections. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights inspired by Stoic philosophy. Remember, the path to meaningful relationships begins with the relationship you build with yourself. See you in the next video.